What's up, guys? It's Caliber here.
And the Beast.
And me and Beast went to the vape shop yesterday.
We we did. We got some
And I want to
goodies.
apologize firsthand. I'm sorry Wednesday's video was late. We just got caught up in the moment. We got busy, and yeah, so here we are.
Yeah, things happen. We'll get back on track. We promise.
Yeah, we're gonna get back on track. But what'd you get, Beast?
Well, as you see me vaping on it, I got, and I'll show the box too, so everybody knows by the look of it what I got. It is the Pulse 80 watt. Right now I'm rocking the Dad Rabbit SQ on it.
With a tall ass drip tip.
Yeah, I like tall ass strip tips,
I
but
like my short
you
ass
know,
drip tips. Alright, so what I got at the vape shop is not a dripper, surprisingly. It's a tank. And that is the UL Nunchaku tank.
come on.
Packaging's really nice on it.
How do you like that?
It's kind of basic, but it works. The color I got it in is iridescent, so we'll be taking a look at the tank here in a second. But let's see what comes in it. Holy shit, everything's falling out. Alright, so we get a little warning card. I'm not too worried about this. It's just saying that, something about the FDA, who the fuck cares? Nobody cares about that shit. Get a little user's manual. Nice, nice.
More.
You actually get a drip tip cover. So if you're working in dusty environments, that's amazing. A little packet of silica gel. I don't know why they include that, I guess to keep the tank dry. Spare glass tube. And you have a 0.4 ohm coil head. 0.4? 0.45. And you can vape this between, 45 and 55 watts. No, wait, it's 0.4. Alright, 45 to 55 watts. Alright, not bad. And you get a little baggie of goodies. Extra O-rings and shit. You don't get too much with it, which isn't a big issue. Go ahead, throw all this back in, huh? Been meaning to do this video. We were going to do it earlier, but Beast got a little busy.
Yeah, we went to the gym, and then after I went to the gym, he went to go fishing, and then when I got back, I had to go get some drinkage going on there for some hydration, and then it just it all didn't mash up appropriately as it should have.
Yeah. All right. So here is the. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to get my little tool out here. Don't mind that conversation. That is just a conversation with the infamous Dark Shiba Fox. Alright. Webcam settings. The reason I have to pull this out is because sometimes my autofocus is shit. So, there she is. Hang on.
That is a beaut on top of that. I mean, it is stunning.
There we go. It is a very beautiful tank.
It is, and that really goes well with your blade right there.
Now, if you're wondering whatever, I was going to get the Cleto 120, which is one of Beast's personal favorite tanks, just because it is a good tank. But I'm like, the Cleto's kind of old, and it's like, well, we don't want to rock old hardware, which I don't have a problem with it. But I'm like, you know what? I asked the guy behind the counter. I said, let me see that Nunchaku. Or I said, what's the other tank you have? He's like, the Nunchaku. I said, well, go ahead and let me see that. I fell in love with the design of it, the way the lines are, and just everything about it. And me and Beast are kind of at the same level with rainbow devices, so like rainbow tanks, rainbow RDAs, so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
And I just kind of went with that, and when because I didn't see the rainbow at first, or the iridescent at first. But he said they had a brand new one. And when I seen it, when I opened it and got it out of the box and everything, I fell absolutely in love with it. Not to mention, it looks good sitting on top of the Geek Vape Blade 235, so there's that.
Oh, yeah.
Been a great little mod. But let's go ahead and take a vape off of it.
There you go.
I should note the coil that comes pre-installed with it is the what is this? Trying to look through the lines here.
Through the lines.
I think it's a 0.2, 0.25, something like that. And you can vape that between 40 to 50 watts, which isn't really bad. I mean, this is 45. So that's halfway between the scales. But it's definitely a small mod. I also got a bottle of vape juice too. This is a Surf Sublime. It's a lemon pastry and it's pretty good.
Nice.
I will eventually get around to trying it on an RDA because to me tanks do not give the best flavor. The flavor on this tank is really good. But after being an RDA user for almost 2 years now, it's like, why do I even go to tanks? Why do I buy? I buy them because they look cool.
Yeah, it's nice to get away from it from time to time, I think, too.
Yeah, and it's like,
try different things.
My preferred is drippers, but you come to think of it, it's like, I'll go ahead and make that big, like, full screen. I don't know why I left it there. But, getting away from drippers from time to time, because, it is tedious to constantly drip. I know tanks are the lazy way about vaping, but sometimes lazy is good.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you got things you're doing, and you can't
driving,
always drip.
You can't drip, which is where squonking actually comes into play, which I think Beast will talk about that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're just starting out, tanks are fine. You can literally put your coil in there, prime the coil, put the juice in the tank, let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, start hitting off of it. And when it needs a new coil, you just run down to your local vape shop, pay about, $15, $20 for a pack of coils, and you're set to go.
Yeah.
Now, price point on this, well, I paid $35, and Beast even said that's not a very bad price.
No, what tanks go for these days, generally, and, they're putting that in the same bracket. I know that the Cletos is a little bit an older model, but when they're putting it with a heavy hitter like that, basically, it's like they put it. It's got to be on somewhat of a level of like the Cleto. Then if it's got to be in that same price bracket at least, anyway. Even though I know it's newer or whatever, but it looks really nice. The design looks really nice. The machining looks really good. From what I could see of it on my side, but
it looks
like
the
really
camera.
good.
All right, so I'm gonna say this: the camera is not going to pick up the full detail of the actual thing. The only camera, I don't own very many cameras. I don't own any DSLRs or anything like that. But like compared to a webcam, the iPhone is close to capturing how it actually looks in the light. And then you guys have to realize, so from now on, whenever I take photos of vapes, I always use this light above me. It's not a natural light, but it lights up my work area, and that's what I love about this light. So yeah. 3 air holes as it always stands. Let's go ahead and show that real quick. So you got 1, 2, and then 3. So 3 air holes. Whatever you adjust on one side is going to be the same all across the board. So adjust it halfway, it's all going to be halfway. And that's one thing I love to see now is tanks that have just like you have your traditional tanks like the Cloud Beast and all that, how they only have 2 air slots. I love seeing tanks with 3 air slots.
Yeah, I do like that. It kind of seems like it would even it out more.
Yeah, and it's not like, so listen to this. It's a little noisy, it's a little turbulent, but it's smooth. And even with the Milo 300, the airflow on it's too wide open. Because it has this, you have wide open airflow, but you can control it a little bit more. And one thing that should be pointed out, it starts to whistle. There we go. Now you can hear it.
How close is that?
That's really fucking closed off. But
I mean, you got like a pretty good range before it does that, right?
yeah, you got a pretty good range before it starts whistling. But I'll tell you where, if you're wanting flavor, the best place to have this is about halfway. Halfway makes it. Now, I know I have a lot of drippers now that use 810, and even some of my tanks use 810, like the, well, I can't say tank. Yeah, I actually have one tank that uses 810. The rest, or they all use 810 except for a couple. But this uses a 510 drip tip, which is good. Nobody needs a massive bore drip tip when they're first starting out. And it's crazy, but for $35, definitely money well spent. God, I just love this setup. I really do.
It is a really nice setup. I mean, like,
It's
that just looks...
mesmerizing. All right, but you go ahead and talk about your pulse, because I know I've been rambling.
Oh, you're fine. Again, we got the Pulse 80 watt with the Vanny chip. Thankfully, didn't want none of that debacle. Uh, Pretty much, basically, the design's pretty much almost exactly the same, except for obviously the thickness right here where the chip sets, and then obviously you got a clicky button which replaces the basically the other button that was like on the Pulse, and then you have obviously your screen and everything else. Doors are pretty much, they have upgraded the doors, I believe, in my view, because now instead of having just like the smaller magnets, they got these nice big bar magnets on there like that. It's really nice. And the bottle, I think they definitely did a nice upgrade on that. I don't know if you can see it, but they got this little notch out where basically that's where you would hold it to when you're screwing the top off. So no longer do you have the problem with anybody who had a Pulse would know that when you're trying to...
I know all too well. Juice
Exactly. Everywhere juice. They kind of fixed that problem. They did get rid of the back hole where you would press out the juice well, but they replaced it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here, so we're kind of getting the same page. Kind of took away the little access panel like they have for the battery. They used to have one over here on the original Pulse for the bottle, but this right here replaced it with, on the front panel, you take it off, is actually a little notch cut out right here where it would set, this would set into it to lock it in place, but it now acts, you put your finger in there, let me get my finger to situate it, and you can pull out the bottle. Okay. So, actually, the design is really nice. I even like the startup. I don't know if I can, maybe, I don't know if it'll show up on the camera very well, but I can try it. Like, the startup's pretty nifty. Little Pulse logo, it says Vanny chip, and then it pops right into it. Again, it's a very basic design, but it's this Squonk, so I mean, it really works really well. And the box, you got your Vandy Vape little blue box. Basically, is basically like pretty standard, for the Pulse series. You got your little contents and everything on the back. On the top, you got the logos, and then on the side you would have your SKUs and scratch and sniff and stuff.
Hold up, I gotta interrupt you real quick. I, for once, can actually give the specifications of the tank and the size because UL was kind enough to include the dimensions.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Alright, so the tank is, let's see, where is it? 25 millimeters, so 25 millimeters diameter by 49.6 millimeters tall.
Nice.
25.2, my bad. Alright. Let's see. Also, want to say, well, I already told you what's in the box, so there's that. Go ahead, Beast.
Oh, yeah, fine. I mean, like it is nice to hear the specifications because a lot of people like to have that because it lets them kind of know the idea of
Yeah,
how
and then
it's
I
going
don't
to
have to do
mods.
a fucking jump in the rabbit hole trying to find damn specs for a tank because yeah.
Exactly.
But I will say one
Exactly.
thing. This mod right here, the landing base for it, like, you know, all right. So let me go ahead and take this off real quick. Let me make myself big so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so this landing base right here,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what it's called. It's 25 millimeters, which means this tank is perfect for this mod. It's the right size. It's not too small, it's not too big, and it works out just fine. Now, would something like this fit on the iStick Pico? Mm-mm. Probably need like a
Pro-
22.
yeah, probably so. I don't know. I don't know if we can hold 24 or not. It'd be tight if it could. I don't even know if it could.
I don't think so. Anyways,
Yeah.
continue on with your purchase.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is 2700 compatible, obviously, and that's what the main power source would be. It does come with the adapter, just like the original pulse adapter, same little rubber grommet or whatever.
Or probably you could
Um,
probably both use the other one with it too.
I'm sure you could. I mean, I think that. I mean, it's exactly the same, so I'm sure it's probably the same design and all that. This one, though, it comes with a nice little slide box, which is a little different because usually they have like a the box that just comes open from the top, but I think it's because they had this nice little cutout, makes you all nice and crimp and proper. The inside, actually, I will say this: it's not exactly as flashy as I was expecting. I mean, granted, it's just the black plastic. Uh,
And no offense,
and
Vandy, but you really need to include some better cables with your mods.
Yeah, I mean, like Geek Vape's got it going on with their cables. I mean, we did a couple reviews with my G box and your
Well, I didn't.
blade
That wasn't
there,
a
and it
review. I
just
haven't done the review, which
oh, you haven't
that'll
done that?
probably be coming for this week's mod mouth.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, that'll be good. Well, I
I
mean,
had it
we
for a
did
week.
show
I
the.
don't know.
Did we
We'll
show?
figure it out.
I don't know, but they got a better cable regardless of which. I mean, that's what we're getting
Yeah.
at. Yeah, they just got the generic little one they got with everything that I pretty much have, and underneath that, I'm just really not really kind of impressed with this whole like plastic tray. I mean, like I was expecting a little bit more out of it, but you know, I mean, to whatever teach their own, I guess. But you get your little Vandy Vape, little certificate, little card or whatever. And then you get your little warranty card. And then you get the what's the manual? I do actually think is pretty nice. It's actually like a little booklet instead of being like the fold out, which I'm particularly used to. This does give you
Yeah, actually, my review of the Geek Vape Blade will be coming up this mod mouth because it's been a week since I've had
so basically, I mean, like obviously the 10 is there's only really 10 pages of actual like information on the user manual, but you got like tons of other languages like French, Russian, all that jazz. So I mean, but it is nice. It's a booklet, not fold out. So I mean, that is a plus. I'll give that.
I noticed a lot of
Um,
manufacturers are actually going to books.
I do like that. See, I just that's something I'm really digging into. Um, but yeah, I mean, the only thing I really have a problem with it's the box. I'm not mad about. The box is pretty well put together. It's got a nice liner in it. Um, and it's got a pretty nice like box construction, and it's pretty cool that it's a slide this time, which I think is kind of nifty. I'm just not really too happy with the plastic insert, really, but I mean, whatever. It's just something me being picky about, I guess. But
Foam
I
is
just,
much nicer.
yeah, I think it would be protecting the mod a little bit better as it goes, down the road. But whatever. Again, that's just something that me being nitpicky, I guess.
Well,
but yeah,
I,
it's
I, I guess the reason they did it that way is because they went through all the bullshit with fucking Vupu.
yeah. I mean, that's probably what it is. I mean, they probably were having to cut costs somewhere, I guess that would be where I would hope they did the. I'm glad they did it there instead of actually compromising the mod. So again, I'll do a review later when I have it for a little bit longer than just less than 24 hours.
It's a
But
gorgeous box mod, though.
oh, it is, and the thing that I like about it is they did the same thing they did with the Pulse. These I don't think these will fit the original Pulse doors, but they have just as wide as a selection and going to be getting more in about the different customization of doors, colors, uh, even artistic ones. You got resins. They got it all coming out. So I mean, this is going to be a very just like the original Pulse is going to be a very, very customizable box, which I think that's going to be really nice.
Yeah. Really, somebody needs to come out with a 1888650 Squonk. Oh wait, I think somebody already did. I'd have to look.
I think we did look at that once, but I'm not for sure what it was too much. But let me give you a look while I'm still thinking about it here of the Squonk. Kind of gets a little bit of liquid on inside that little Squonk that when you take it apart. But it's got a nice little silver connecting plate right here, and then you got like your little gold little spring-loaded 510 right there.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Alright, so I know this isn't mod mouth, but me, or not really me, Beast was trying to figure out, should we talk about that with the fireball in the Sonora Desert? That dry hit you got?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw this in. So the Beast gets his pulse right. He puts a pre-made in there. It wasn't cutting it for him, was it?
No, it was not.
The mod's not powerful enough for pre-made fancy coils.
No, this is definitely like just like the Pulse you can kind of get.
If you can get a low enough resistance, you can put some pretty coils in there. If you can get the resistance low enough.
Right.
But it wasn't doing it for him. So we were trying to. Because I'm not gonna say I'm an expert, but I'm a little bit better at building than Beast. And he was trying to shoot in the range between, what was it, 0.14 and 0.2?
0.15, I think it was, but that's just.
Yeah, 0.14. So it's one off. So.
Yeah, but, it's around that area.
With the wire he had 24 gauge Kanthal. There was no way he was going to be able to do that because Kanthal, as we all know, has a high internal resistance. So I was like telling him, I forgot. How many wraps was on there?
There's
4 wraps. Yeah. 4 wraps of 24 gauge Kanthal. And I got you in the ballpark of 0.4?
Let me see. Yeah, 0.4. Yep.
Alright, so the steam engine, the coil calculator isn't a bad tool.
No, it's not. It's really nice.
And Beast has my help for that. Because I'm a very good friend, and I can lend myself because I have a computer, so I can do things a lot easier than what he can.
Right. I will be getting a computer soon, though. But it does help.
That'll be interesting.
But no, he's actually he knows more about the intricacies about it. I like
wrapping I can build coils and putting them
pretty.
in.
Yeah, I can do that. That's.
But I have to do the technical side of things.
Yeah, the technical side. I make pretty coils, but that's pretty much as far as it goes.
Yeah, him calculating the resistance. Like even I stick with one build, and that's usually 22 gauge Kanthal or 22 gauge nichrome, which 22 gauge Kanthal 4 wraps give me in the ballpark 0.14, and that's it. Well, going back onto the story, so Beastie Mode tried to push his luck with a single coil. We're in at 100 watts, or not 150 watts. My bad, I overshot it there. Running it at 50 watts, or tried to run it at 50 watts. He gets a dry hit, and me and Taro both see a little flash of light come out of his mouth, and I'm like, "You're caught a little, or something happened there."
Yeah, it got a little bit fire. But
he ramped it back down. 45 watts is that's where you're at? 45?
No, I went back to 40.
All right, so 40 watts for him is perfect on that build.
Yeah, on that build, yeah.
So I think Beast Mode learned his lesson on that one.
Hey, I'm all about pushing my limits when I can. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the smartest thing, but
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one because I try to push the limits of my batteries. So.
Speaking of which, I mean, we all know what happened to good old First Pulse.
It went up in smoke.
Went up in smoke.
Also, I would like to point out one thing before we go. We kept calling the Pulse unregulated and saying it wasn't a mechanical when actually it is a mechanical. It's not a traditional mechanical, but the button's still mechanical.
Yeah.
It's a mechanical switch. So there's that. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to Beast Mode. It's S13_the Beast. Anyways, guys, this is Caliber and Beast signing out.
East out.